friends and assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel IBOL Designing Developer. My name is Inshal Beg. I am a full stack developer and graphic designer. Today I will show you how to build one product advertising and suggestions project in Python in artificial intelligence. And I hope you will also enjoy this project like in jungle PS projects of Python in artificial intelligence and in data sciences. But before that you have to just hit the subscribe button, then after it you have to also hit the notification bell from which you will be getting all the notifications of my video when I will be uploading. So from that it will be also help for you and it will be also help for me, because from that you will be learning more new things, more new clones and more new projects which I will be uploading of Python, and which I have just already uploaded on my channel, and I will be uploading more further on of other languages. So now we'll be starting with our advertising and product suggestions project. So for building that project, first of all you have to do one thing, like I'll be closing this file here which is just opened. This is the previous file, like previous project which we are working with. So simply I'll be closing this file now. Then I will be just deleting this file, because if I just not do that, so it will be just really confusing for you and you can't understand like what file it is in which we are just working. So here you can see I've just make one file previously which is called personal.py. So here I don't have to just work with, so I have to delete. So now for deleting the file in Python package, or you can say in PyCharm text editor, you have to do one thing, like you can press delete key in your keyboard by pressing delete like that. You can just delete that, so it will be just giving these options. Or there is one another option, like if your delete key is not working, so you can just press right click on your file which you have to delete, then just scroll down, or you can say go down, you will be just having a delete option. Press that, you can see the same checkbox we are just having when we just press delete button. So you have to check these both box here, then you have to press OK, so you can just delete your file. So if I press that, you can see now my file has been just gone and it has been deleted simply. So you can also press enter here to just delete that, or just you can also press enter to just OK that button which was just coming previously. Now you can see it is just automatically taken us to the package of Python, because all the files have deleted, so we have to just make a new file. So because of that it is automatically transferred that to our Python package. Here I will be doing one thing, like I'll be pressing right click on my package, hovering on new, or you can also press that, nothing happens. Then if I do that, so you will be getting many of the options here, like you can create file, new scratch file, directory, Python package, Python file, HTML file, editor, config file, or resource bundle. So you can see there are many things which you can just create in this PyCharm text editor, but this is not enough things which we can just create, because in every text editor we are getting many of the languages like Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ruby, and you can say PHP, SQL. Many languages are here in every text editor which you can just use. Like you can just take one example of VS Code. It contains many of like for you can say many of the languages from which you can just create your file and work with the language you know. So in this we are just only getting Python file and HTML file, because it's this text editor is only for Python, but this include HTML also, because HTML is small coding language and it can just use in any you can say any text editor which you are working with, like PyCharm, and you can say VS Code also, Atom also, and then Sublime Text also. So for beginners I recommend like Sublime Text if you are working with HTML. So Sublime Text is really good text editor which you can just work with, and you can learn many of your HTML in that. But this PyCharm text editor contains HTML, but it does contain the beginner HTML. It's not contain like intermediate and advanced HTML which you can just learn. It contains Python which is fully beginners to advanced, so you can just learn Python here. But if you are just intermediate or advanced level Python programmer, so you can just use VS Code, because it provides your own features and quality which you can just put in your like file and language you can just use. You can also write your own codes, but in this PyCharm text editor you just contains the beginner codes of Python. So just for beginners I recommend you to just use this PyCharm here. So simply I'll be pressing Python file here. So when you've done that, you will be getting this option like new Python file you can just create. First of all, it will be asking to just give your name to your Python file. So here we are just building advertising. So here I'll be writing advertising. So when you've written that, just you can also write .py to just save your file. But if you don't do that, so nothing happens, because we have just already select Python file. So it will be automatically save my file into Python file if I press enter. So you can see now my file has been saved. You can say save into my Python file. Simply I'll be zoom in so you can see my codes here. So when you've done with that, just here I will be just doing one thing, like I will be now moving to my folder here. I've just create one folder in that, like you have to also create, in which you can just store your all the things. So here I'll be doing one thing, I'll be moving here, then I'll be just opening this folder which is called self-driving car master. So we have just done this project really previously, but I'll be doing that again, because so I can show you like how it will be just working. So simply I'll be scrolling down, then I will be doing one thing, like I will be just taking this file here, and I'll be just moving that to my VS Code. Oh, so you can say PyCharm text editor, it's not VS Code. So I worked with VS Code many of times, so because of that I'm just saying VS Code again and again. So simply I'll be moving here now. Then if I take this file here, startgame.py, so we have to check like it contains codes enough. Come here again, take, because it was just removed from there. Now I will be moving that again. So you can see we are getting these things here, so we can just work with that things also, because we have to work with, so simply we have to import that things also. So now I will be doing one thing, I'll be moving here, then I'll be importing time to just import that. So it is too much zoom in, and I just recommend you to just zoom out here if you also zoom in like that, because from that it will be confusing for you. So I'll be now coming underneath, writing from countdown, but we have just not to import this. I'll be just importing pandas here simply because we are working with artificial intelligence and we have to import pandas. And when you're working with data science also, you have to use pandas in that, which is really important. Import tag which you have to just use. Simply I'll be writing here like import numpy now, because pandas has been imported and numpy is another important thing which you have to just import here. So we have just done that all things, and we have also written the short form of that by writing as after that. Now I will be just doing one thing, like I'll be now moving down enough, and if I just come here, so you can see we are getting these things. So you can see we are just now getting this define left or these things, so we have to also write that. Now I will be just coming underneath, but before that we have to just write import date time, so we can just do that. So now I will be just coming underneath and I'll be writing def, which means define left. Then I'll be making this bracket here, just I'll be coming underneath simply. Now when you've done with that things here, I'll be pressing enter because it was in second line. So when you've done with that, just here I'll be writing now press key. Then I'll be making this bracket here, and here I'll be writing left, which should be in capital. So just write the same thing like I am writing, because we have to link that with this file, so we can just get our data which we have just extracted here. Now I will be writing time.sleep. Then I'll be making this bracket here in which I'll be writing 0.1. Then just you have to come underneath here by pressing enter, right here release key. So write that. Then I'll be just making this bracket again, moving here, changing that to left. So when you've done that, just here I'll be now coming underneath again, change that to like time.sleep. So here I'll be making that. Then just make this bracket again and write here 1. So when you've done with that, just here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing define tag again. Then I'll be now writing right, because left is defined at the top. So I'll be writing this semicolon, just coming underneath here, writing that to like press key, and here I'll be writing that to like left. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming underneath here. Okay, so here we have just already written left, so we have to just write right here, which should be in capital. Now I will be just coming underneath. When you've done with that, just write that to like time sleep. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, now I will be just writing this bracket here, writing 0.1. Then I will be just coming underneath. So when you've done with that things, now here I'll be coming, writing that to like release key. And when you've done with that, just I'll be making this bracket here. Then I'll be writing here like left. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath here, writing that to like time.sleep. Then I'll be making this bracket and changing that to 1. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now pressing backspace here, so we can just write another thing. So here you can see there it is written def up now, means define up. So here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing define up, making this bracket here, and I'll be writing this colon here, and now I will be just coming underneath. So here you have to write press key, so just write that. Then I'll be making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, just write up, which should be in capital, because everything which we are writing it is in capital in this press key tab. So here I'll be now writing this time sleep again here, which should be 0.1 simple. Then I'll be writing release key. So you can see release key should be up, because every section I'm just writing here. So if I just come here, so you can just see one thing here, we have to write right, because it is just right section, so because of that. So when you've done with that, now I will be just coming underneath simply, then I'll be just moving here. You can see we are getting time sleep again, which is written 1. So here I'll be writing time sleep 1. So when you've done that, just now here I'll be coming underneath and pressing backspace. Then I'll be writing def tag, which means define. Then I'll be writing down. So just write that here. Make this bracket again, then make this semicolon here, right here like press key, and now you have to write down here. So when you've done with that, now you have to do one thing, like you have to write time sleep. Then I'll be just coming here, writing that to like 0.1. So when you've done with that, just here I'll be writing release key, then I'll be just making that to like down. So when you've done with that, here I'll be doing one thing, I'll be writing that to like time.sleep, then make that to 1. So when you're done with that, just here I'll be now coming, writing def, which means define. then I'll be writing enter. So here just write that, and when you're done with that, just here I'll be making this bracket, then I'll be just coming underneath here, then changing that to like press key. So here I'll be writing, when you're done with that, just I'll be making this bracket here and writing enter. So when you've done that all things, just I'll be now coming underneath here. So when you've done with that, just here now I will be writing time dot sleep, make that, then I'll be just writing this bracket here, change that to 0.1. So till here we have just done with that things. Now I will be just coming here, then I'll be writing release key. So just write, but spelling is incorrect. Now here I'll be writing that enter. So when you've done with that, just now here I'll be writing time sleep 1. So till here we have done with that things. Now I will be moving here, then I'll be writing here like def means define, then I'll be writing asterisk key which is at the top of our keyboard, then I'll be writing semicolon, same I'll be coming underneath and writing same things which is just written at the top. Write that, write time dot sleep, then write 0.1, then I'll be just writing that to like release key. So just write that here, then I'll be just changing that to like this key again like we have written at the top, but it should be in capital here because every key which we have written it is in capital. Now I will be moving here, writing time dot sleep, and I'll be writing 1. So you can see we have done with that things here which we have to do. Then you can see there it is written def 2, then I'll be making this bracket and writing this semicolon, just moving down enough. When you've done with that, just you have to change that to like press key. So here I'll be writing. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing 2 which should be in capital because everything which we are writing is in capital. So here I'll be now coming, then writing 0.1 right here, release key, then here I'll be writing here 2 like that. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming, writing time sleep, and then I'll be writing 1. So when you've done that, just I'll be moving here. So when you've done with that things here, now I will be writing like free home equal, then I'll be just coming here and you can see there it is written A. So here we have to write that, then I'll be just moving forward here, then here I have to write like enter, comma, enter, then I'll be writing comma again. If I just move here, so you can see there it is written again, and here again. Then when you're done with that, just here we have to just write that, and now we have to just count how many enters here, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So 1 2 3 4 and 5. So we have just written that here, but now we have to write left here, and then I'll be writing comma again, and there is 1 enter after that. So we have done with that things. Now I will be just coming underneath. So here you have to write like graphic equal, then I'll be just moving forward and you can see there it is written asterisk key, then write, and then I'll be just writing comma, moving forward, and then there it is again written right, and again then I'll be writing this comma, and here I'll be writing enter, right, then I'll be just writing this comma again, and here I'll be changing that to like enter, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing this comma sign, and here I'll be writing right, comma right, and then I'll be just writing this again, and when you've done with that things, here I'll be writing like right, and then I'll be just writing this comma, and if I just move here, so you have to write down, and I'll be writing this comma again. Then if I just move here, so here it is written right 3 times, so here I'll be writing that, and when you're done with that things here, now I will be doing one thing, like I'll be just moving forward here, then I'll be writing enter, left, enter. So when you're done with that, now just if I move here, so you can see we have just done with that. Now I will be just coming here, then I'll be writing that to like advanced equal, then I'll be just moving here, and you can see there it is written enter 2, then I'll be writing again comma, then moving here, writing up right, and I'll be just writing this comma, and here I'll be writing right. Okay, so if I just come here, so you can see we have just written that all things. Now I will be writing up right, then I'll be writing up, then I'll be just writing this comma again. So when you're done with that, just here I'll be writing again, which should be first of all. Okay, so just write right, then I'll be writing enter. So when you're done with that thing, here you have to do one thing, I'll be writing left, and I'll be writing enter. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath here. So when you've done with that, just here I'll be now coming again. So you can see there it is written 16. Okay, so here I'll be now writing def start game means define start game. So when you've done with that, if I move here, so you can see we have just written this bracket, then I'll be just coming underneath here, write that to like print, and here I'll be now writing one string, and in this one string I'll be writing make sure the game, and I'll be just moving forward. You can see there it is written window is on focus. So here I'll be writing that, So when you've done with that things here, now I will be just moving, and you can see there it is written like countdown. So here I'll be writing. So when you've done with that things here, now I will be writing 5. So you can see we have just done with that here. I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing going, then I'll be just moving forward, and here I'll be writing into 3. Then when you've done with that, I'll be just moving forward here, and I'll be writing row mode, then I'll be just coming underneath here. So when you've done with that things here, you can see there it is written like for action in free. So here I'll be writing for action in free, then I'll be writing roam. So when you've done with that things, now here I'll be coming, then I'll be writing like action, and here I'll be writing this bracket. Now just I'll be coming here, writing that to like time sleep 5. So when you've done with that things, now here I'll be just coming, then I'll be writing that to like changing, and just I'll be moving forward, and you can see there it is written graphic settings. Now I will be just coming underneath here again, then I'll be writing for action. So just spelling is incorrect. So here I'll be writing for action, then I'll be just moving forward. You can see there it is written in graphic, then I'll be making this bracket here, then I'll be just coming underneath. Okay, so you can say semicolon, then I'll be writing action, making this bracket again, then I'll be just coming here, and you can see there it is written time dot sleep 5. So when you've done with that, I'll be just now coming underneath, and when you've done with that, just here I'll be now writing this here like that, and here I'll be writing now changing, then I'll be moving forward, and you can see there it is written advanced. And now when you've done with that, I'll be moving forward, there it is written graph settings. So here there it is written graph settings. So now here I'll be writing for action, then I'll be just writing in advanced, then I'll be just writing this semicolon coming underneath, writing action, making this bracket here, then I'll be just pressing backspace, then coming underneath writing this asterisk key, and here again. So when you've done with that, now I will be just coming, then I'll be writing this print here. So now here I'll be writing like game is now, then I'll be just moving forward, here it is written ready. So when you've done with that, just now here I'll be coming underneath, and when you've done with that, just here now I will be writing that to like if name, then I'll be writing that, I'll be moving forward, then I'll be writing equal, then I'll be changing that to main, here I'll be again writing. So when you've done with that thing, now here I'll be writing start game. So now here I'll be making this bracket. So when you've done with that things, now I will be just coming underneath. So you can see we have just done with that here. So simply I'll be now pressing backspace here, so you can just move back. Now I will be saving that by going to save all by pressing save all button. So till here when you've done with that, just if I move at the top, so you can see we have just defined that all things which we need to. Now here we have done. So when you've done with that, just move to folder again which we are working with. Then I'll be just taking this file plot data stats.py and moving that to my PyCharm text editor. So you can see this file contains these things which we have to just write here, so we can just work with that. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then I'll be closing the start game.py file. Here I'll be now I'll be coming, and then I'll be just changing that to a tag which will be like if ax in none. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then there it is written like size equal. So when you've done with that, here you can see there it is written np.array. Then when you've done that, just here I'll be now writing like data dot shape. So here I'll be writing that. So you can see we have done with that. Now here I'll be writing like this sign, then I'll be writing -1. So when you're done with that, just now here I'll be writing that to like plus, then I'll be just writing that to like np dot array, then I'll be making this bracket here. So when you've done with that things, now just I'll be writing this, and then I'll be writing 0,1. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then here I'll be just changing that to like this multiply sign, then I'll be just moving forward there. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now doing one thing, I'll be writing np.array, then I'll be making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, just now here I'll be writing like all width. So here I'll be writing all width, then I'll be writing this comma moving forward, then you can see there it is written row height. So here I'll be writing row height, then I'll be just making these things, and when you've done with that, just now here I'll be coming underneath, and then if I just move here, so you can see there it is written like make ax equal, then I'll be just coming here, then you can see we have just written plt dot, then if I just move here, so you can see there it is written subplots, then I'll be making this bracket here, and when you've done with that, just here I'll be writing fixed size equal, then I'll be just coming and change that to like size. So when you've done with that, now I will be just writing that, then I'll be writing ax dot axis, then I'll be just doing one thing, I'll be coming here and I'll be writing off. So when you've done with that things, now here I'll be just coming, then I'll be doing one thing, I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like mpl table, then I'll be writing equal. So when you've done with that things, here I'll be writing ax dot table, and then I'll be just coming here and then I'll be just changing that to like cell text. So here I'll be writing cell text. So here just write that. So when you've done with that things, here now I'll be writing equal to, then I'll be writing data dot values, and when you've done with that, here I'll be now just coming, then I'll be writing dot pwork equal, then I'll be just coming here and changing that to like pworks comma, then I'll be just moving here, then I'll be writing that to like collapse. So here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing equal to, so here there it is written that. So when you've done with that, now I will be just writing that to like data dot columns comma, then I'll be just moving here, then when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then you can see there it is written like k words. So here I'll be now writing, then I'll be just writing that thing. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming underneath, and when you've done with that, just you can see there it is written like mpl table. So here you can see, if I just come here, so you can see there it is written mpl table equal. So here now just write that, then if I just move here, so you can see that it is written dot auto. So now I'll be just writing this dot sign again, then here it is written like set font size, then when you've done with that, I'll be just moving here, then I'll be writing that to this tag, and here I'll be writing false. So when you've done that all thing, just here this false should be just in capital. So here I'll be writing that now. Now I will be just coming underneath here, and you can see there it is written mpl table, then I'll be just writing this dot, and I'll be writing that to like font size, then I'll be just making this bracket here. So you can see this font size is not in this, so here I'll be raising this underscore here, then I'll be writing this bracket and writing here like font size. So when you've done with that, now just I'll be now coming underneath, and here I'll be writing 4k comma, then I'll be writing cell in 6, and when you've done with that things, now here I'll be coming, then I'll be writing dot item, and here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing items, then I'll be just making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be writing mpl table, and then I'll be just coming here, then I'll be writing dot cells, then I'll be just now doing one thing, like I'll be just writing this tag, then I'll be just coming underneath, then I'll be just change that to like cell. Okay, so there it is written like cell dot set. So when you written that all things, now I will be writing like edge color. So here I'll be writing that, then I'll be now making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, just I'll be writing edge color. So when you've done with that, now I will be coming underneath here. So just when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing if k 0, then I'll be writing equal, and then when you've done with that, here I'll be writing 0 or, then when you've done that, I'll be now coming here writing k 1, then I'll be just moving forward, changing that to like header. Sorry about that. Now I will be writing this header columns here. So now I'll be just writing this semicolon, and then I'll be just coming underneath here. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing cell dot set, and here you can see there it is written now text props. So here I'll be now writing text props, then I'll be just making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing weight bold. So when you've done that, just now here I'll be coming, then I'll be writing that to like color W. So when you've done that, here I'll be now coming, then here I'll be just coming underneath. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing cell dot set, then I'll be changing that to like face color. So just write that here. So when you've done with that, now just I'll be making this bracket, and here I'll be writing header color. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath. So when you've done with that, here I'll be writing else, then I'll be just coming underneath here and writing that to like cell dot set, and here when you've done that, just now here I'll be writing face color, then I'll be just making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, here now I'll be writing row colors, then when you've done that, here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing k0. So here I'll be now just changing that to like person length, then I'll be just moving here, and then I'll be writing row colors. And when you're done with that here, now I will be just coming, then here I'll be writing a space bar, then I'll be just coming underneath, and then I'll be writing return AX. So when you're done with that here, now I will be just coming underneath. So now you can see there it is written like with open. So just I'll be writing that, then I'll be just making this bracket here, changing that to like data, then I'll be just moving here, and you can see there it is written stats.json. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be coming, then I'll be writing that to like R. So we have done with that. Now just I'll be coming here and writing R, then I'll be just coming underneath here, and when you've done with that, just here I'll be writing data equal JSON, then I'll be just moving forward here, and when you're done with that, just you can see there it is written load F. So here now I will be just coming underneath, then I'll be writing that to like df equal, then I'll be just coming, then you can see there it is written pd data frame, then I'll be just making this bracket here, then you can see there it is written data and making one string here. In this I'll be writing stats, and when you're done with that things, now here I'll be coming underneath, and when you're done with that here, now I will be writing like trig equal, then I'll be changing that to as this. So we can just move to our project again, then you can see there it is written like render, then if I just move here, and you can see there it is written like mpl table. Okay, so when you return that all thing, now I will be just coming, and you can see there it is written df, come underneath here, and you can see there it is written plt dot show, then take that here. So you can see we have just done with that. Now when you've done with that here, I'll be doing one thing. Okay, so just press backspace, then press backspace here, I'll be just coming underneath. Okay, so it is good now. So when you've done that, just save that here, all the things which we have just written till here. So you can see now everything is perfect. So we have just done till here, you can see that. So now when you've done with that, just you have to move to this like file explorer, then I'll be just taking this which is called drivenet.py, moving that to my PyCharm text editor, then I'll be just moving down, and here I'll be just coming now. So when you represent that all things, now you have to just go to advertising.py file, then you have to just come here, then you have to just write that to like with open, then I'll be making that here. So you can see, okay, so there it is not written, so it was this previous one which I was just showing. So here you have to write like if, and you have to write name, then just make that again, then I'll be just writing this equal to here, and just write one string here in which I'll be writing main, and now here I'll be writing this semicolon, just I'll be now coming underneath, and if done with that, here I'll be now writing model equal, then here I'll be writing that to like drivenet, and if done with that, just I'll be now making this bracket here. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be writing model, then I'll be just coming here, then I'll be writing dot compile, then I'll be just making this bracket here again, then I'll be writing loss equal, then I'll be just making this, and here I'll be writing categorical. Okay, so just write that here. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing this underscore, and here I'll be writing like this. So now if I just come here, so you can see, okay, so there it is written like that. If I show you, okay, so when you've done with that, now here I'll be writing this comma and then moving forward here. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be doing one thing, I'll be just writing that to like optimizer, so just write that here, then I'll be just writing this equal to, changing that to like this, and then I'll be just writing this comma, then I'll be just coming underneath here, writing that to like matrix equal, then here I'll be now coming, changing that to like accuracy. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming underneath, and when you've done with that, just here I'll be writing model dot summary, making this bracket here, then I'll be just doing one thing, I'll be coming underneath, and here when you've done with that, now I will be writing like plot, then write model equal, then when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing that to like this bracket. If I show you, so here you have to write model comma, then I'll be just moving here, and you have to write to file, and when you've done that, here I'll be now coming, then here I'll be writing drivenet, and we have done with that. So when you've done that, just here I'll be now writing dot png, then I'll be just moving here, and you can see there it is written show, then I'll be just writing this underscore here, here I'll be now writing shapes equal true, then I'll be just now coming underneath here. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing this comma, then I'll be just coming underneath, then just write here like show layer. So just make that to like show layer, and now here I'll be just making this underscore here, then write names equal to. So when you're done with that, here I'll be now writing like dpi equal 200. So when you're done with that, now just I'll be coming, then I'll be saving that here. So when you're done with that, just now it is done. So our project is just ready. So when you will be running that, so you can just see your data which is just coming here in your Python file, and what you have extract you can also see. So you can just also import your own data here. I've just imported my own things, and I'm just giving you example how to do. So you can just add your own features and call it, just make this good, and you can just make it more better if you want to. If you know Python, so you can just do that. But I think you will be knowing, because till here we have done many of the projects of AI and data sciences, and I will be uploading in future also many of them, because there are many projects which we have to do and we have to learn Python here. And I'm also uploading some of the React clones and tutorial, and I will be also uploading websites of that, so check that out also, because that will be also really helpful. And I have also uploaded previous one, so check that out if you're not, and please smash the like button if you like this video. And if you want to learn more these things, so comment me down what things do you want from me. So just I'll be meeting you next video. So for today, goodbye.